the opportunity to speak to so many people. This is a pretty good sized audience. Real quick, I think introduce myself and kind of why I'm doing this. I think probably the most driving thing is that I want to give back to the community. I owe a lot to Goshen Community Schools. I was prepared for life after graduation, and I want to ensure that this is for the same for future generations. Both my children, my lovely wife who's here with me this evening.
Sir, hold it up to your
Hold
mouth.
up closer?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes.
All right. This is uncomfortable. A little
It
bit.
is.
All right.
Like you're eating an ice cream.
Like I'm eating an ice cream cone. All right, sorry. So my children and my met my lovely wife at Goshen High School. And my first of 3 grandchildren that live within the district will begin next fall. I know there are challenges ahead for Goshen schools. I'm a former school board member from 16 to 20, and I know that a good board member is going to accept the challenge. They're going to immerse themselves and be part of the solution, and that's what we're going to continue to. What I want to continue to do. The goal is obviously to make Goshen the school of choice. I had a couple of past board members, Dan West, John, Jesse, suggested that I go ahead and run. When in 16, there was no one running for school office. Now there's a bunch of people running for school office, and that's a good thing. But they suggested that my volunteerism, personal work ethics, life experiences, and a balanced, common sense approach would be valuable asset to the Goshen Community Schools. I've been volunteering for Goshen Community Schools ever since graduation. Currently, I am the treasurer for the Goshen High School Building Trades. I've been doing that for 10 years. And I think that's helped me develop relationships with many, many teachers. I was on the board when we selected Dr. Hope, the current superintendent, so I have a good relationship with Dr. Hope as well. And this has helped me communicate with teachers. You guys have no idea how many discussions you can have in the grocery store when you're on the school board, when you find people that are there, you know who you are. I appreciate the dedication and hard work that the Goshen administration and the staff do to educate our children, preparing them for positive contributors. One of the things that I do volunteer for Goshen High School for is I do teach Goshen's Community School, is I do teach junior achievement. And I remember one of the first times where the teacher introduced me to her class and then left the room. I think I may have piddled. You guys have no idea. I think second grade students can smell the fear. So I have over 30 years worth of board experience. I've been in the Fair Finance Committee, La Costa United Way, including, as I mentioned, 4 years as a Goshen High School school member. I think this is going to allow me to immediately step in the board and be an effective board member. What I've learned over these many years is that you've got to be a really good listener. My grandmother taught me you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You've got to put the time in. If you really immerse yourself and put it in, it's very time consuming. You'll learn a lot of things. You learn how things get done. And most importantly, with that board experience, you learn how to make balanced decisions that support the mission of the organization for all stakeholders, students, parents, staff, and most importantly, the community, because the reason that we're there is to give the community a return on their investment. All the taxpayers of the city pay into helping students, and they expect the students to graduate and be ready for life after graduation. And so we want to make sure that we do that in a safe environment for everyone, students, teachers, etc. I've got over 30 years worth of financial experience, and it looks like I have the 1 minute mark here. But again, what I do is I'm a commercial lender, and so I meet with all this sorts of businesses, big and small, and help them find solutions. And as I mentioned earlier, that requires careful listening, very careful thought process, and balanced decisions as well. I want to focus on efficiencies within the school budget, teacher retention, and making sure that we live within our means. And that's going to cause us to not only look at this year's budget, but also in the future. So I only have 30 seconds left, and so real quick, I want to strive when I was on the board to be a trusted school board member. and use my experience and balanced common sense approach to representing Goshen. So I think I've got the sign here. So thank you for your support on November 8th. I have additional detailed information on my Facebook page. Thank you.
Not to make the candidates uncomfortable, can everybody see and hear them after our test subject here?
As long as they hold it up.
Pardon?
We can't all see the names that are in front of them.
All right.
Unless we stand up, so can they announce their name before they start talking, please?
You want them to continue standing or just?
No, can
just
they just announce their name before they start, so we know for sure who the candidate's name is?
So that's the first major test, is to figure out who they are, right?
Yeah.
Or for them to figure out who they are, right?
And the
All right.
position
Well, that
for
was
which
Keith Goodman.
they're running.
All right.
Yes, I'm running for school board at large here in Goshen. Thank you.
So we have 5 candidates running for 2 seats, right? So that's what we're going through right now. So our second candidate, let me get back here. So our second candidate, again, running for at-large, is Mario Garber.
Thank you for having me tonight. Again, my name is Mario Garber. I'm running for one of the at-large positions on the Goshen Community School Board. I'm currently on the school board. I'm this is the end of my first term, and I am the current vice president for the school board. I am a graduate of Goshen Community Schools. I have 2 daughters, one that just graduated last year and a daughter that is in high school right now. My wife taught at Goshen for over 20 years. And I have lots of family that have been a part of the community and Goshen Community Schools. So I have a vested interest in what's happening with the school and the community. I'm currently the Director of Culinary Services at Greencroft in Goshen. I think that the main reason I continue to want to be on the board is to help be a voice for students and teachers. I feel like we are a student-centered school, and I think the best way to provide for our students is through our teachers. And I don't think that means just by salary and benefits, but also how we support those teachers with our community. And I think it's important that we take a look at those people and see how we can support them with new ways to teach, make sure they're up to date, they've got support from the schools. Another thing that I've talked about is being fiscally sound. It can get complicated, you know, the way the state has rules set up, what we can spend money on, and because we're using public funds, we want to make sure we're doing the right thing with those funds. I think that while the students and teachers are important, we also want to represent the community. And I think I've done over the last 4 years, I've made a concerted effort to talk to students and teachers and community members. Right now I'm representing District 3. I've moved, so now I'm at the at-large position. So it's a little different to reach as many people. But I do get a lot of feedback on the things that we're doing and a lot of questions. And I'm always happy to answer where we're at, in the direction we're going. And if I don't have the answer, I'm happy to go find out and try to figure that out with you. The reason I started to run was, along with Keith, I wanted to give back. You know, I felt like this was a good opportunity to support the community and the school. And I think that answering one of the questions on the questionnaire that we had, the meetings are about an hour long. I think for every hour you spend at a meeting, you spend at least that much going over material for that meeting. So if you get the agenda, you're looking at all of the things to approve in that meeting or the things we're going to talk about, doing some background and doing some research. And then we also have other meetings that, I'd say like a budget meeting. And budgets can get complicated, and so you spend a lot more time looking at those things, asking questions. We've got a good administration and a good CFO that's very good at explaining what these numbers mean and where the funds are going, and so I'm confident in those things. But it's not just going to the meetings and doing the research. A big part of what I've tried to do is be a part of the community. And so I've been lucky that I've got 2 girls in school. And so I've been to all kinds of events over the last 4 years, from music events to sporting events, band competitions, art things downtown. And even though my kids aren't involved in each of those things, it is important to support those other students, and it's fun to see students involved in so many things. And I think that's also a testament to Goshen Schools and the number of opportunities that these students have to be a part of the system. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I have 3 chairs, empty chairs up here that are going for the low price of $1 apiece. So if you need a chair, come on up and take it. Third candidate for at large, and we're going alphabetically, as you can probably figure out, is Linda Hartman.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters for the opportunity to speak, and I have a teacher voice, so you probably can hear me clear out on the other side of the building. I'm Linda Hartman. I'm running as an at-large candidate for Goshen Community School Board. I began my journey at Goshen High School while going to school full-time and working in the high school cafeteria, and that was a challenge. And then as a paraprofessional. I graduated from my USB with a BA in special education and went on to receive several master's degrees, one in curriculum instruction and one in public school administration. Some of the best times of my life have been experiences of the fantastic sports and music programs at Goshen High School. Goshen schools are known to be some of the best in the state. We have a lot to celebrate, and we also have a lot of work to do. On our own website, it states that the key work of the school board is to ensure student achievement and community engagement to promote student achievement. School boards are a creation of the Indiana legislature and are charged with providing educational opportunities for the children in the school corporation. We have the best in sports and music, but we're kind of failing a little bit in the area of academics. Goshen has been at the bottom half academically of all Indiana schools for many years. I've been honored to work with educators in Elkhart County to complete data obtained from test scores from 2005 to present. And I was going to show you my chart, but I'll have it at the back at the end. We see that we're somewhat stagnant from 2005 to 2014. In 2014, we decided to experiment with such things as whole language and social emotional learning. We see a tremendous drop in 2014 in all Elkhart County schools. The only school below Goshen is Elkhart. If we continue at this rate, we'll be totally bottomed out in the next 5 years, and public education will not be sustainable. We have to go back to basics and teach the ways that we know that will work. Our kids are not to be used as social experiments. The time to act is right now. We can no longer afford to put academics on the back burner. My campaign tagline is back to the basics. We need to get back to phonics so that the kids can read. We need to get back to memorizing multiplication tables so that they can learn math. There are approximately 400 teaching minutes in a day of a school. Subtract from that passing periods, bathroom breaks, and transitions between activities, and we have maybe 300 minutes to instruct. We need every second of that time to teach basic concepts that allow students to be critical thinkers. There is no wasted time in a school day, and when we're discussing the academics of students. Our current board has been a little bit ineffective in implementing policies that ensure student success. We need to support our teachers. They're being stretched to the max and trying to swing with every experiment that comes along as instructed by administration. We can't possibly jump on every educational bandwagon. The board needs to hold the line and not be involved in knee-jerk reactions to whatever the newest pedagogy suggests. The board is not responsible just for graduation rates, but also day-to-day instruction. Teachers need to be paid well so we can recruit and retain the best. This is accomplished by reducing administration staff and giving merit raises and hiring more classified personnel to help with one-on-one instruction. Administrative positions pay at least twice what classroom teachers make. Teachers need to be free to teach, not constantly having to deal with students who are out of control and need to be removed from the classroom. Children are entitled to a free, appropriate education, but it does not mean that the education has to take place in the classroom. There are contingency plans available for students who can't function. So let's get back to basic. Every moment available to teaching reading, math, science, and history. Goshen has excellence in sports and music. Let's make sure that academics is also one of the most competitive in the state. Let's not lower the bar for students. Let's raise the bar and give support so that all the students can learn. It's insulting to say that a certain people group can't achieve, so we lower the bar to make it attainable. Every student has the right to expect the very best education. As a board member, I pledge to make that happen. Let me make myself perfectly clear. I love Goshen Community Schools. I always have and I always will. I love the fact that we have the best in the state in our music and our sports programs. I don't like the fact that we spent $100 million since 2018 in buildings and our kids are still in a system where scores are at the bottom 50% of the state. This is not acceptable. All students need to succeed no matter who they are. They are counting on adults that make decisions to make sure they have the very best of what any school can offer. Let's make Goshen a Gold Star corporation. Together, we can make it happen.
All right, thank you. Now, going on next, the fourth candidate out of the 5 that are going to speak tonight is Brian Kreider.
Hey, thank you. My name is Brian Kreider. I am running for Goshen at large. I do want to give a quick condolence to the John Moyer family, Goshen school teacher who passed away on the 18th. So our condolences to the Parkside family and his family. Thank you, League of Women Voters. Like I said, my name is Brian. I was born here. I'm a proud lifelong resident of Goshen. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Jenny, who is also a member of the class of 95 here at Goshen. We have 4 amazing boys. Max, who is a senior, Jack, a freshman, Luke, our 3rd grader, Finn, who has his birthday tonight, so that's why he's not here. I didn't bore him with this evening, but he's rooting me on tonight. I am the son of Jim and Colleen Kreider, and my mother and father-in-law are Gary Huber and the most famous, legendary Pat Huber, 3rd grade Waterford teacher who's retired after 33 years. So, getting that out of the way, like many in this room, I took a different pathway in my life. I did not, after graduating from the wonderful Goshen High School in 1995, I made a short stint at Purdue, and I left Purdue after a long conversation with my brother. I decided after a period of time at Purdue to join the workforce in a field that suited my personality better than what school did. And I started in the sales industry and the RV industry, of course, which is perfect in this area. I grew in the RV industry to become one of the youngest vice presidents of sales and one of the youngest to do that. I helped develop some of the greatest RVs, I guess, in the area, and I was very proud of that. But when 2008 rolled around and the industry started to dip, going to very high unemployment rates, myself and 2 business partners founded a company called Ben Soft Pretzels. We did that in 2008. We opened our first location in the Concord Mall. We've grown that. We've been very blessed to grow that to 150 locations in 15 states. My background is negotiating contracts with large corporations. I'm very able to handle pressure. I've employed thousands of employees with diverse backgrounds, diverse men and women that are very, very good at what they do. And I'm very blessed to be a part of a team because we know employee issues and concerns. I'm deeply committed to this community. I have board of director experience both locally and nationally. I serve on the Elkhart County Fair Board, the Indiana Restaurant Lodging Association Board, Rekindle the Fire Men's Conference Executive Board, and additionally, I recently helped rally local businesses to help make Goshen Athletic Program entry free to all students K through 12, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. As a parent, alumni, business owner, and taxpayer, I believe it's time for a change in leadership on our school board level. Our board has let our students, parents, teachers, and taxpayers down. The system needs a reset based on the financial uncertainty that has led to a referendum based on incorrect data, the vast amount of teacher unhappiness, resignations, and the decline in enrollment. With a constant decline in school enrollment at Goshen, we need to find quick ways to either bring enrollment back or make cuts to live within our means. We need a board that can help the administration make that happen. I would like to use my skills as a proven business leader to help get the kids or living within our city to come back to our schools, find a few that are outside of our city that want something new, and help find ways to cut spending without affecting teacher benefits. Next, I want to point out that I'm 100% in favor of an advocacy-free curriculum. Our classrooms have no place for anyone's personal or political agenda. I will be steadfast in ensuring that all curriculum brought to the board is free of agendas and is filled with fact over fiction. I will fight to protect our teachers from having to make difficult decisions of teaching something they disagree with or face ridicule or termination. We need to empower and protect our teachers. Teacher pay and respect is the next area of great concern. Our teachers deserve more of both. Some can be done at the board level, but a lot can be done at the legislative level. And I will use my relationships at the local, state, and national levels to advocate for higher teacher pay and respect. I'm running for school board not because I have time, not because I have political ambitions, not because of money or fame. I'm running because all of us deserve better. My love for Goshen Community Schools and professional experience make me an ideal candidate that can bring real impact to our school system. Our kids deserve a place to learn and to get a great education from caring teachers that are teaching curriculum that is free of all fiction and social and political agendas. They deserve an education that is challenging and is taught by a teacher that is given respect and dedication from an administration that listens and communicates. Our kids deserve a safe place to learn, not to be bullied, and to know their teacher cares for them, knowing that they have their back while parents know that they have theirs too. Parents deserve a school system that knows its limits on what lines can and cannot be crossed. Parents deserve a school system that knows there is a partnership between them and teachers. Taxpayers deserve a school system that understands that every dollar spent comes from the hardworking men and women of the community. They deserve to know that there is a financial accountability and the board communicates with them, letting them know that their money is being spent. Strong schools equal strong communities. I'm running for school board because my boys deserve better, and so do your kids. Our community deserves better. Vote for change on November 8th. I'm asking for your vote. Vote for Kreider at large.
Thank you. Please pass that down. Our next candidate is one of three that is running for one seat in District 1, and we're going to hear from Ryan Glick. I still have 2 seats up here, and I've discounted them to 50 cents a piece. Still no takers. Brian, Aaron, you want to come up here? You sit next to me anyway.
All right, well, my name is Ryan Glick. I'm running for... All right, my name is Ryan Glick. I'm running for Goshen School Board District 1. Thank you for having me. My wife is Salam. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it tonight because she's sick. My son is over here. His name is Leo, so I'm happy to have him with me. Why am I running for Goshen School Board? I'm running for Goshen School Board because I want to be a representative to parents, to taxpayers, and to teachers. I don't have enough time to go into reasons why I want to represent all those people, so I'm going to stick with the first one with parents, but I also want to see a transparent and an open school board. I want to see educational excellence and fiscal responsibility back in our schools. Going to representation of parents. Representation requires openness, it requires transparency, it acknowledges the rights of those who are represented. We as parents have a primary interest in the education of our children. That means the school board must be open and honest about everything that's being taught. They need to be open to parents when they have questions, and be willing to give information out without doing freedom of information requests, but just be honest and say this is what's happening. You know, our children belong to us, not to the state. So that's first and foremost. Going on to the second thing, educational excellence. I believe we as a school system have become so focused on other aspects of our schools, the extra peripherals, that we have neglected education. And the result of that is only 1/4 of our students in 3rd through 8th grade last year were able to be proficient in math and English. That's unacceptable. And this isn't just a disaster for our area. The effects of leaving education is national. We have major problems. I'm going to quote from Education Week. They said 30 countries now outperform the United States in mathematics at the high school level. Many are ahead in science too. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the millennials in our workforce tied for last on tests of mathematics and problem solving among the millennials in the workforces of all the industrial countries tested. We now have the worst educated workforce in the industrialized world. Oh, you say, well, that's because we're looking at scores from the pandemic era, but that's actually not true. I'm going to quote from ABC News. They just last week came out with an article titled, "High School Class of 2022 had the lowest ACT scores in the last 30 years. This is the 5th consecutive year of declines in average scores, a worrisome trend that began long before the disruption of the COVID-19 pandemic and has persisted," ACT CEO Janet Goodwin said in a statement. What's more, the data showed that only 22% among all the graduating class met the benchmark for all 4 main ACT test functions: English, math, reading, and science, while 42% did not meet a single one. The magnitude of the declines this year is particularly alarming as we see rapidly growing numbers of seniors leaving high school without meeting college readiness. These declines are not simply a byproduct of the pandemic, they are further evidence of long-time systemic failures that were exacerbated by the pandemic. A return to pre-pandemic status quo would be insufficient and a disservice to students and educators. These systemic failures require sustained collective action and support for an academic recovery of high school students as an urgent national priority and imperative. So that includes Goshen schools. It's an emergency of national proportions. And we can fix it if we act with wisdom and diligence. And I believe I can be a part of that if I'm on that school board. Go to my website if you want to see a plan. I have one on there about how we could turn it around. Finally, finances. We need to run the schools like a business. I own my own business, and I spent my money on my core product, which in this case would be education. You spend on peripherals when you have additional money, but you don't spend all your money on the peripheral and fail at the main product you're offering. If our students can only play in band or play football, they won't be able to feed their families. And we see that when our students are the least educated in the world. It's unacceptable. And then finally, I want to go to an issue that's very dear to my heart. My entire family is immigrant. My wife is from Africa, my son's from Africa, my son's friends are from Mexico and other Hispanic countries, and over 50% of the students in Goshen schools are Hispanic. They came here for freedom. They came here to be able to excel. And I don't think they want to be stuck in a school that's going to blame them for low scores. At the last board meeting, our superintendent said, and I quote, "There is no school board with a similar demographic doing better than Goshen schools." Well, that's basically saying if we had a white school, we would have better scores, but because we have a Hispanic school, we have bad scores. That's unacceptable. We can teach. These students, my friends and my neighbors, they are very smart. But we need to have the best education possible for them without making an excuse. They want to have the freedoms of Americans. They don't want to be turned into pawns to vote to whatever political viewpoint we have as a group in the area. They want their freedom. So I say let's restore order, let's restore quality education in Goshen schools. My name's Ryan Glick, I'm running for District 1, and I'd appreciate your vote November 8th.
Thank you. So, second candidate, according to my list, and I'm a graduate of the Elkhart school system, and I even know that Johnson comes before McKee. But according to this list, it's McKee next. So let's just go by that. Don't come up after me at the meeting and say we were out of alphabetical order, because I realize that. All right. So I'd like to introduce Angie McKee.
Thank you, Brian. First of all, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this candidate forum this evening. My name is Angie McKee, and I'm running for Goshen School Board in District 1. I'm a lifelong resident of Goshen and a proud 1986 graduate of Goshen High School. My husband Jim and I have been married for 18 years and are former small business owners, and I am also the former clerk treasurer for the city of Goshen. When I was out collecting signatures to run for school board, I received an email from a business owner who wanted to know why I was running when I didn't have children in the school system. You don't need to be a parent in order to support the youth of our community. It takes a village to grow a strong future in our children. I strongly feel that there are changes in our school system that need to be made in order to support our ever-changing population. I have a philosophy. If you see something that needs to be changed, then it's more effective if you step up to do something rather than to complain to your friends at dinner. One of the questions that was given to us tonight was about attending extracurricular activities. I've been attending basketball and football games to support children of friends prior to running for school board. It's important as a school board member and a member of this community to support athletes and athletic programs. When you look around the stands at everyone cheering, you can bet there are a handful of athletes that do not have parents present cheering them on. To all kids, it means the world that the community members are cheering them on. They all work hard and deserve the support and recognition of their community, whether it's a win or a loss in the record book. As a school board member, it's important that loyalty be divided 3 ways, between the students, the teachers, and the parents. All 3 hold a vested interest in their child's future and need to be heard and supported. 1, our teachers. We need to make sure our teachers have necessary tools and support to teach our students. Teacher retention is a huge concern throughout the state of Indiana. It is my opinion that a teacher is more likely to stay within a school system if they have the resources they need and are supported, validated, and appreciated. In business, most people do not leave a job because of the pay. They leave a job because of management or administration. As a school board member, I went to dive further into why our teachers are choosing to leave for other schools or other professions altogether. 2 is our students. Just like the teachers, we need to find a way to reach and retain our students. The pandemic has been an uncharted territory, and our students have suffered because of it. The students need to be heard and not feared of negative retaliation from teachers or principals. Students need a place to feel safe and secure. There needs to be a narrative with students about why they see issues facing Goshen Community Schools and what they think the strategy would be to fix it. We are educating them. Why not use their knowledge? 3rd is our parents. Parents need a voice in their students' future. It's a fine line of power between parents and teachers. We hope that they are all fighting for the same thing, the success of kids they are raising and teaching. Our parents are trusting us with their most precious possessions, and we need to respect that. On the other side, teachers have been well trained in their field and know how to reach many of our students and parents and need to respect that. There are so many topics that society are hurling at our kids at lightning speed that it's hard for all of us to keep up. There are some topics that are better suited to be addressed by the parents and others to be addressed by teachers. As a school board member, I would hope to open avenues of communication so that each side can work together transparently. There are changes that need to be made. I want to be part of that change. My name is Angie McKee, and I'm running for school board District 1 and would appreciate your vote on November 8th.
Thank you. Okay, I give up. There's 2 seats up here and they're free. Even though you have to sit next to Aaron here. There's 1 here and 1 here. All right, so we're going to hear from 3 candidates for District 1, and one person will be selected. So we're going to hear from our 3rd candidate, and that's Andrea Johnson.
Hi, my name is Andrea Johnson, and I'm running for District 1. A little bit about myself. I was born here in Goshen. I started my education at Riverdale Elementary. After a family move, I graduated from Elkhart Memorial High School in 1982. After a divorce, I moved back to Goshen because I wanted to raise my children in this community. I've been married to my husband, who is a Goshen police officer, for 20 years. We share 5 children, his 2, my 2, and our youngest, who just graduated from Goshen High School in 2021. I was appointed to the Redevelopment Commission here in Goshen 4 years ago by the City Council. I currently sit as the Vice President on that commission. I never intended to run for any public office, but my reasons for running for school board are pretty simple. I believe our public schools are foundational to our society, as are our teachers who take care of our children. Every child in our community deserves a safe, comprehensive education regardless of their socioeconomic status or any other factors. Public schools are tasked with preparing our children to be productive members of our society who can be successful on a world stage, and that's not an easy task now. Because public schools are coming under attack, that's a nationwide trend, and I had hoped that Goshen schools would be exempt, but we're not. Debates about inclusivity and curriculum have become toxic and unproductive. Discussions about banning books and wild accusations about our teachers have become intolerable. Our teachers are trained, professional, and they deserve to be treated and compensated as such. So I'm running to defend schools and to support our teachers. But in the midst of all the craziness, we still need to work to improve our schools with sometimes inadequate dollars funded by the state. We need to spend those dollars in the most productive way possible. We need to work on test scores while acknowledging our community's unique challenges. We need to make schools a safe haven for our kids, where they can learn and grow and feel included in our community. So I'm running because I believe in schools. If you don't believe in our public schools and want to support them and make them better, if you don't trust our educators and want to see them compensated, and if you don't have as your first priority our children and their success, then you shouldn't be on the school board. So my name is Andrea Johnson, and I would appreciate your vote.
All right, thank you. So to reiterate, we just heard from the candidates that are running for one seat in District 1. That's Ryan Glick, Angie McKee, and Andrea Johnson. Now we're going to move back to the back row here. We're going to move to District 3. We have 2 candidates running for one seat, and we're going to hear first from Jose Elizalde.
Yes, my name is Jose Elizalde, and like it was mentioned, I'm running for District 3. I'm the current board member of District currently. This is going to be a little bit difficult for me, so I'm going to share some of myself. I don't have something written down, I have a script. John Moyer, the teacher who passed away, was my classmate. He graduated with me from Goshen College, and I'm setting for the family and for Goshen family and Goshen College family. He was a great guy. I still remember going to Chicago to watch the White Sox. He was a White Sox fan. I grew up in the South Side, so I brought him to the old Comiskey Park, and we had a lot of fun. And Goshen Community Schools has lost a great person, a great teacher. I was born in Mexico City. I was not born in this country. I grew up in Chicago. I went to Chicago Public Schools. I'm a product of Chicago Public Schools. I know what public schools can do and what they do and what they don't do. I came to Goshen College in 1990, graduated in 93, and then I went to seminary. Believe it or not, I have a master's in divinity. I was a pastor with the Mennonite Church for over 15 years. I was an ordained minister for about 10 of those 15 years. I came to Goshen again, returned to Goshen in 2008. My 2 kids joined the Goshen Community Schools system. I have a son that graduated from Goshen Community Schools, and he's a sophomore at Boston Conservatory. His passion for music was born in the school system, in our school system, who has done an amazing job. My daughter is a senior who attended, who's a senior in high school, who has attended Goshen Community Schools all her school years. They have received an amazing education. Is it perfect? No, it's not. Can we do better? Yes. But when I look at the population, the student population, which is 54% and growing Latino population, the student population, I know nobody has to tell me. No, I don't have to read it on a piece of paper. I know what it's like to come to school not knowing a single word of English. I know what it's like to have teacher-parent conferences and my parents and the parents not knowing how to communicate with the teacher. I know what it's like to graduate from high school and the challenges of going to college and learning our system. Nobody has to tell me that. So I can resonate with a lot of our student population. And I know that we are doing a lot to make their experiences, and not only the Latino population, but every student, their experience positive and growing. The last thing they want to deal with is politics. And this connection, or this lack of connection between the state and the church. It is a public school. I'm speaking as an ordained minister. I know what the Constitution says. I cannot push my religious agenda on anyone, especially the kids of my neighbors. And I'm very concerned as well that when people say don't bring an agenda to the school, this is exactly what is happening. Public schools is being attacked and being pushed a specific agenda that is not conducive to the future of a diverse community. I feel for the students who are not Christians and hear debates about pushing an agenda that is solely Christian. Well, I got 30 minutes. 30 seconds. I'm trying. So I have, you want to talk to me more about it? One of the things that I'm extremely concerned, and I'll push this until I'm no longer a board member, but I want every student to feel welcome, to feel safe, to feel valued, and to feel supported, whoever they are.
All right, thank you. Second candidate for District 3 is Rob Rader.
Thank you. I got a little confession. When he was talking about the White Sox, I slipped him over my Cubs logo to tease him a little bit. Jose is about as nice a guy as you'd want to meet, and I think you would agree he's trustworthy. My story, Rob Rader. I hear feedback. Yeah, how about that? Can you hear me all right? Rob Rader, I've lived in Goshen ever since I've been a Raider. I've raised 5 children, my wife and I. I've lived on 10th Street for over 30 years. People ask me, why do you want to run when you don't have kids in school? We homeschooled our kids. That was a great opportunity. It took a lot of sacrifice and a lot of effort, but they received an excellent education because of the dedication of their mother and because of the intimacy of the family unit. Once they got to high school age, we let them take some classes at the high school, and the high school was very nice to us. So while this is happening, as I'm going through child after child, I'm looking, not really thinking about running, not feeling superior or inferior, but that was a positive experience for my family. We made lifetime friends. In celebration of my wife, who overcame a serious illness, the Goshen High School band stopped right in front of my house on 10th Street, and they played a song for her. You know, how do you not be friends with that? As my youngest now has left, I decided, well, maybe I should attend a couple board meetings. And I did that, and I was really surprised at the consistent decline in academic scores. I thought that was just a tremendous thing, and I couldn't understand why that had happened. And for so many years, and I don't see any sign of it turning up anytime soon. I'd like to suggest to the board that we declare an academic emergency. I don't know what all those details mean. I don't know how we're gonna, but I want the people to know that they're being taken seriously. This academic stuff is why we send kids to school. To fail so many years, sometimes we're in the 20th percentile. That's just not acceptable. Worse than that, if you can believe it, as I attended these board meetings, I discovered that there is pornographic passages. I've been in, yeah, go ahead, you want the mic? All right, then be quiet. So I've raised 5 children. I know about the birds and the bees. I'm not afraid to say much, but I can't bring myself to read this rot. And this is what our kids are dealing with. They should be protected while they're minors. You know, our kids can think for themselves once they're adults, but when they're minors, they're in our care. And we should be protecting them from dangerous things that present sex as recreational. You know, it's a holy institution. And I don't have to lecture the board. So I took my concerns to the board, and they formed a secret committee, and they got their friends together, and they, without naming names, they made a ruling totally against me. We had to file a FOIA. We had to try to get the names. Who was in this committee? We had to use an open door policy violation to get them to finally tell us who was in. I objected to the board, this board. I objected to the board, and they ruled it against me as well. I'm stunned that those kind of things go on. The radical gender theology, these are kids. You show me an improvement in academics, and then you can debate me about whether this is laughable. Folks, this is not laughable. I'm not pushing some agenda. I don't have to prove myself. I'm saying this is dangerous stuff for our kids. Our kids at Goshen High School deserve better than a shrug or pass the ball, academically and especially with these issues. My last big issue is the God-given parental rights. Our parents need to have confidence that they can speak to the heroic teachers that we do have, or to the administration, and be heard and not have to deal with FOIAs or angry looks or anything that makes them feel uncomfortable. Parents are primary. Those kids are theirs, and we work in collaboration. I've got information out there. You're welcome to do it. You can put a stamp on the back, mail it right to me, give me all your comments. I'll be glad to talk to you. Or you can check out my webpage, RobRader4Schoolboard.com. Rob Rader for School Board. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we've now heard from 9 out of the 10 candidates that have listed themselves for the position on the Goshen Community School Board. We've got 2 candidates to be picked from 5 people for at large. We have 1 candidate that needs to be picked for District 1, and we have 1 candidate that needs to be picked for District 3. So we're going to move east a little bit and a few miles down the road and hear from a candidate from Middlebury School Board running for 1 seat. 2 people are running, and District A, which is in parentheses called Inside Town, we have Donald Anderson.
I have to wonder if anyone really cares.
Oh, I care. I introduced you.
Oh, boy. Well, being last, I'm sure you're getting an appreciation of the kinds of issues school boards are facing and the complexity. I liked what Mrs. Johnson said about some of the things that boards are dealing with right now. So it's difficult. And I'm going to talk just briefly about why I feel experience matters. I've lived in Middlebury for 51 years. Both of my daughters experienced K through 12 at Middlebury schools. The school system's had a history of scholastic excellence, as one of my daughters was a Fulbright scholar. She takes after her mother. My grandson, who has special needs, is in the Northridge school system. His mother, my daughter, will tell you that the Middlebury school system is the only school she's ever experienced that asked her what her son needs rather than offering a menu and saying, pick something. And she really appreciated that. It's a real credit to the school for the compassion shown to all students. I graduated from my USB with a BS in finance, Bachelor of Science in Finance, and then I entered the insurance business and had a great 46-year career at USI Insurance, which is one of the largest brokerage firms in the country. I was president of their Elkhart office and started my career in Goshen for the first 9 years and then ended it in Elkhart. I'm proud to currently serve on the school board. A previous member resigned in about a year ago, October of 2021, and I applied to fill his unexpired term. I was selected and am now looking to complete a full 4-year term. Experience does matter. The community needs experienced and qualified people to serve on a school board. I bring many years of experience serving on various boards. These include the current membership of the school board. I was a town council member of the town of Middlebury, so I came to the school board with experience in the public sector. I have been the board chair of the Elkhart Chamber of Commerce. I have been the board chair of the United Way of Elkhart County. I've also chaired the board of Elkhart General Hospital, as well as ADEC. I'm currently on the board of ADEC. I was a board member of Loveway years ago in my younger days. As Alan Kaufman will remember, I was president of the Goshen Kiwanis Club. That's how I got to know Alan. I've been a board member of the Independent Agents of Indiana, and also a board member of Beacon Health System. I was when Beacon was formed, I was one of 7 from Elkhart County who joined 7 from St. Joe County in a covert operation to put Elkhart General and Memorial Hospitals together to form Beacon. And it was an interesting life experience because Beacon has now grown to over 7,000 employees, so it's quite a formidable health organization. And I currently serve on the quality committee of Beacon Health, continue to serve in that capacity with those good folks. I've also chaired the Agents Advisory Councils of several insurance companies, including the Hartford Commercial Union, Home Insurance, CNA, and Crum & Forrester. So you say, well, so what? Well, this extensive background has provided the knowledge needed to understand the functioning of a board. A lot of folks want to be on a board, but they really don't know how it works, how governance works, understanding the relationship between the board, administration, teachers, and staff, understanding what makes for an effective school board, which includes having a clear vision for the district, communicating board actions to the community. Great board members work as a team, not against each other. They collaborate well with others and are respectful of other board members, superintendent, teachers, staff, and community members. They understand the importance of adopting a fiscally sound district budget and monitoring the financial health of the district, and focus what is best for students and staff. So I look forward to being elected, I hope, to the school board and serving for 4 years. I love this role. I love serving. Education is fundamental to what our communities are all about, and I look forward to continuing. Thank you. Time's up.
All right, thank you. Well, first of all, I know it takes a special slice of your personality to put yourself out here like this as a candidate. They deserve your attention, they deserve your gratitude, and I'm certain they're happy to see such a great turnout. So please, a round of applause. My only disappointment of the night is I was promised that each candidate was going to slice 30 seconds off of their speech so that I could give a 3-minute speech about me, which is way down from my normal 20-minute speech. But apparently that's not going to happen because they all went to the full 5 minutes, but that's fine. So, my last comments. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the League of Women Voters for hosting this tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken, is the Elkhart School Board. This is a great step for you as a voter to come out and listen to the candidates. What's your next step? Go vote. Vote, vote, vote. I'm only saying it 3 times for emphasis, not so you go out and vote 3 times. But get out and vote, pick the person that you back, and wish them good luck in their future endeavors. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.